What's up, guys? So Nick Foles signed a 4-year, $88 million contract with the Jacksonville Jaguars. He led the Philadelphia Eagles to a Super Bowl 52 championship and was named MVP of the big game. Just over a year later, he got paid handsomely for it. Not bad for a guy who once thought about retirement. Foles joins a Jaguar team that reached the 2017 AFC Championship Game, then fell apart entirely in 2018. Jacksonville wasted no time moving on from Blake Bortles, and they clearly believe Foles is that final piece to their championship puzzle. There are plenty of reasons to believe that Foles will shine with his new team, but there are also some concerns that make us wonder if this was really the right move by the Jaguars. We'll obviously need to wait a couple of years before getting a firm idea, but for now it's a great time to explore both sides of the equation. I'm Jason Biondo, and today we present 5 reasons why Nick Foles will succeed with the Jaguars and 5 reasons why he'll fail. And don't forget to leave your video ideas down below. We'll be looking, and if we pick your idea, we'll give you a shout out in the video. So you get to be famous. Leave the comments down below, you never know. Don't forget to subscribe to TPS and put on your notifications because we post videos, you know it, every single day. Every day's a new video, so you should definitely subscribe. And a big shout out to Brendan Keene for suggesting this video. Brendan, we were really keen on your idea for this video, so we chose it. Thanks. Number 5, will succeed because small shoes to fill. There's always the pressure thing when a player signs a huge contract, especially with a new team. But Foles isn't going into a Steve Young, Joe Montana, Andrew Luck, Peyton Manning, or Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre situation here. That is, he's not being asked to fill the shoes of a franchise legend and future Hall of Famer. Blake Bortles was facing a make-or-break year in Jacksonville, and as we all saw, he fell flat in his face. That instantly takes the pressure off Foles, who will surely perform better in Jacksonville than Bortles ever did. The Super Bowl 52 champion and MVP is naturally a better and smarter quarterback than Bortles. Even if Foles goes from great in Philly to average Joe in Jacksonville, that's still better than what the Jaguars got in Bortles. Truth be told, it won't take him much effort to perform better than the team's previous quarterback. Jaguars fans will come to love and admire Foles right away. For them, it's just nice to finally have a quarterback with a strong track record. Nick, don't even worry. You're not replacing Montana here. Be yourself and you'll easily end up being one of the best QBs in Jaguars history. Will fail because the locker room drama. The Jaguars locker room isn't as bad as the Pittsburgh Steelers was prior to the departure of Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell. And it's nothing like the 2011-12 New York Jets, who unraveled entirely after consecutive AFC Championship Game appearances. But there does appear to be a little bit of tension and drama in there. Jalen Ramsey may be one of the NFL's best cornerbacks, but he runs his mouth 10 times more than Richard Sherman ever did during his days with the Seattle Seahawks. There's also some drama with the talented but oft-injured running back Leonard Fournette. In Jacksonville's Week 17 game against the Houston Texans, Fournette and TJ Yeldon were seen on camera looking disinterested and bored with the game. Team president Tom Coughlin issued a statement and called their behavior disrespectful and selfish. ESPN reported a blow-up in their locker room. So unless Coughlin and head coach Doug Marrone can get the high-character players to simmer down a bit, this whole team could unravel if they won't play nicely. When do teams with locker room drama ever perform well? If Foles joins a team whose biggest enemy is itself, then the Jaguars are helpless, and so is he. Such a situation may cause Foles to regret signing the contract right away. Hopefully not. Number 4, will succeed because offensive line should be better. Jacksonville's offensive line was actually ranked just 22nd by Pro Football Focus for the 2018 season, but it didn't help that stout offensive tackle Cam Robinson was lost for the year after tearing his ACL in Week 2. Acquiring New York Giants draft bust Eric Flowers didn't yield any results either. This was simply one very bad year from the Jaguars O-line. If Robinson is healthy for 2019, that changes just about everything. In 2017, the Jaguars O-line was ranked a more respectable 15th by PFF. Plus, Foles is all about the short passes and quick release. Like Tom Brady, he's excellent at getting the ball out when the pressure is coming. But again, we fully expect a better effort from the Jaguars offensive line in 2018, and Foles should be just fine playing behind it. Number 4, will fail because the AFC South ain't easy. Well, Foles knows he has 6 ultra-difficult games on the schedule already. It's not good. The Houston Texans have been a perennial playoff team, thanks to a ferocious front 7 led by J.J. Watt and Jadeveon Clowney. Now that they have a top-tier quarterback in Deshaun Watson, the Houston offense is relevant for once. He and DeAndre Hopkins will give the team every chance to compete for a Super Bowl. The Indianapolis Colts have Andrew Luck back at full health, and he regained his MVP form in 2018. Throw in Defensive Rookie of the Year Darius Leonard, and you have star power on both sides of the ball. The Colts, as far as we're concerned, are just getting started. They'll return to championship contention as well. And as for the Tennessee Titans, they have one of the best defenses in the league. If Marcus Mariota stays healthy, an offense consisting of Derrick Henry and Corey Davis should do plenty of wonders. The Titans have registered 3 straight winning seasons, by the way. The AFC South could very well feature 3 playoff teams in 2019. Foles is joining a very talented Jacksonville team. But even if the Jaguars perform well, it's going to be very tough to get by in a brutal division that had 3 teams with winning winning records in 2018, and none of them were the Jags. Number 3 will succeed because the John DeFilippo connection. 2 months before they even signed Nick Foles, the Jaguars hired John DeFilippo as their new offensive coordinator. The latter was fired in the midst of a disappointing season with the Minnesota Vikings. But that's okay. DeFilippo did just fine as Foles' quarterback coach with the Philadelphia Eagles in 2017. You know, the year that Nick Foles replaced an injured Carson Wentz and led the Eagles to a Super Bowl 52 championship. Foles had a tremendous working relationship with DeFilippo, and the familiarity with his new OC could be a huge factor. Think about how Doug Peterson's relationship with Foles worked out. He was the latter's QB coach during the 2012 season. There was familiarity when Foles returned to Philadelphia in 2017. Why should we expect something different with DeFilippo? Jacksonville's new offensive coordinator is going to install an effective pass-happy offense that will help Foles play the same way he did in Philadelphia. Don't worry about the money Jacksonville invested. Foles should be just fine, thanks to the background he has with DeFilippo. Number 3 will fail because pressure to perform. You know what we said about Foles having easy shoes to fill? So there isn't much pressure to perform? Well, you could look at it both ways. And that's what we're doing here. Maybe the pressure to perform will be too much for Foles. After all, the Jaguars are giving him an $88 million contract to win them a Super Bowl, not to simply be better than Blake Bortles. They're in it to win now with that championship caliber defense and strong ground game. And don't forget, Foles' best performances throughout his career have come when expectations were not very high. Take his 2013 Pro Bowl campaign, for example. During that season, he was thrown into the starter's role after Michael Vick was injured. No one expected much for Foles, so all he did was go out and throw 27 touchdowns and just 2 interceptions. As for the following season when everyone knew about him, well, Foles regressed quite a bit and threw just 13 touchdowns and 10 interceptions in his 8 starts. And don't forget about his heroics in 2017 and 18. In each of those seasons, Foles was handed the reins late in the year after Carson Wentz went down with an injury and most people had counted the Eagles out. Foles had no pressure on him, so all he did was win a Super Bowl and go 4-1 in 5 postseason appearances. Yeah, we may be silly for doubting the Super Bowl MVP, but perhaps the big contract and higher expectations become too much for Foles, much like we saw from him in 2014. But honestly, if you can beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl, I wouldn't be worried about anything ever again. Number 2 will succeed because bringing leadership to the offense. Every football team needs to have one major leader on each side of the ball. The youthful Jaguars needed that guy to lead them by example. It wasn't a role for Bortles. It's not a role for Leonard Fournette. And all the young wide receivers are still growing as players. But now the Jaguars finally have a leader on offense to show them how it's done. Foles is known for being the ultimate good guy. His humble personality and winning experience should do wonders on this Jacksonville team that's trying to figure itself out. Jacksonville has the young talent in place on offense, but unlike the defense, they don't have all those veterans to mentor and lead the youth. Foles comes to town to bring some leadership and happy personality. The guys will love playing for him. Perhaps Foles will help bring out the best in everybody on the offense. You know, the kind like Tom Brady and Drew Brees do with their respective clubs. Number 2 will fail because product of Philly system. Okay, are we positive that Foles is going to shine in Jacksonville? He's joining a team here that's a lot different from a group he had in Philadelphia. Keep in mind that Foles had an epic 2013 campaign with the Eagles, and he started out 2014 nicely before a season-ending injury. But when he was dealt to the St. Louis Rams in 2015, Foles struggled. He saw limited time as a backup for the Kansas City Chiefs in 2016, and again, he just didn't look in sync compared to what we saw in Philly. Foles has played for 3 teams now. He was on another level in Philly. You can't say the same about the brief tenures he had in St. Louis and Kansas City. So yeah, are we sure that Foles is going to fare well in Jacksonville? Maybe he was just benefiting from Doug Peterson's system, and you know, being on a team that featured the league's best offensive line, a powerful ground game, and a plethora of stud pass catchers, that could definitely help. Number 1 will succeed because the right fit and setup. Even if Foles can't play the way he did in Philadelphia, we still need to remember one thing. The Jaguars are essentially paying Foles to be above average. He does not have to throw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns every game. Not even close. The Jaguars have one of the NFL's best defensive units, one that nearly propelled them to a Super Bowl 52 appearance. That unit, led by Ramsey, Campbell, and AJ Bouye, should fare just fine once again in 2019. If healthy, Leonard Fournette should be a productive playmaker on the offense as well. If not, well, the Jaguars will be able to find better replacements this time around, we think. Foles really just has to play to not screw up. Think of an Alex Smith-like season here. The Jaguars will look to win games with their elite defense and hopefully a better rushing game. If they do that, Foles will just have to play like a game manager. The Vikings pretty much paid Kirk Cousins to not entirely screw up and to hopefully provide a minor upgrade over Case Keenum. While Cousins' struggles are why the Vikings missed the playoffs in 2018. Foles just has to avoid pulling a Kirk Cousins here. Smart, mistake-free football. He's set up to do that with this Jacksonville team. They want to win it the old school way, with that smash them in the mouth defense. If Foles can be just average to above average, he'll be worth $88 million easily. Number 1 will fail because the supporting cast on offense. Think about the guys Foles got to work with in Philly. A Pro Bowl wideout wideout in Alshon Jeffrey, a speedy and reliable slot receiver in Nelson Aguilar, a reliable rushing game led by guys like Corey Clement and Jay Ajayi, the ultimate security blanket in tight end Zach Ertz. Oh, and a not too shabby Golden Tate as well. As it stands, D.D. Westbrook, Keelan Cole, and Marquise Lee are the team's top receivers. The former led the team with 66 receptions, 717 yards, and 5 touchdowns in 2018. Good, but not great. Top wideout Marquise Lee missed all of 2018 after suffering a knee injury in preseason. Even when healthy, he's more of a number 2 wideout. Now these 3 guys make some big plays here and there, but Jeffrey is a possible top 10 wide receiver in the NFL. Aguilar is better than anybody the Jaguars have on offense. Same with Ertz. Foles, like any quarterback, will only be able to do so much if his receivers aren't getting open. The Jaguars have got to hope that these guys will produce and get on the same page as Foles. Otherwise, it could end up being a major flop. But let's hope not. Do you think Nick Foles will succeed in Jacksonville? Join me in the comment section below. Make sure to follow myself and Total Pro Sports on social media. We post great content all the time. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. I post videos every single week. So if you want more of me, you should definitely go there. Also subscribe to TPS because we post videos every single day. Every day's a new video, so why would you not want to subscribe? If you like this video, give it a like. It takes 1 click right down there. Smash that like button. Of course, thank you so much for watching. I'm Jason Biondo, and I'll see you next time.
My knee.